2, 3. What is the hype train around MACH? It's been on the talk for many years, I would say. Some might be new to it, but it's been talk about this a long time. What is it? Let's try to align what does it even mean and what are the pros and cons. So MACH, what does the first letter M stands for? Niklas?
M stands for microservices, which is kind of an architectural design, which lets small programs to work in containers to give out information. So you just work with a distributed set of applications.
Yeah. And these applications can also be working totally independent from each other, you could say. Okay. Then you have A, which means API. So API is Application Programming Interface, and that is basically just a way to integrate two systems to talk to each other. It's not a specific standard, but there are like, you have different ways to integrate, like SOAP or GraphQL or REST. But the API is basically a way of saying integration point.
Yeah, and that's needed to get the microservices to communicate.
Yeah, to each other on the platform.
Infrastructure or highway between microservices.
Yeah.
C is of course cloud, and there is some not native cloud applications that has been cloudified, but it means native cloud. That means that the application is
running in the cloud,
built from cloud from the beginning.
You don't have to have any server hall or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last one in MACH is H, meaning headless. And traditionally, when you had a customer-facing application, the like front-end code and all the back-end logic was working as one. And headless is kind of a way to decouple this, that the front-end is working like one app and the back-end is working like one app. And what you usually do this is because if you do that, you can actually have two different apps using the same back-end. And it also means that you can kind of, you could even argue that you can have one front-end app and a web page that is both working with the same backend, and you want to usually with headless you want to keep most of the logic, well, all of the logic in the backend, and the front-end is, so to say, a bit stupid and just displays what it's given. So given that we have that, MACH is a way to build an architecture more distributed, working with best of breed instead of taking one system and doing everything in it. There are some pros and cons of this, and people always start with the pros, but we're going to start with the cons. Niklas.
Of course. One of the cons is, of course, cost, because building something this way is driving cost. So you will have
it's quite fancy, you can say.
And it's also more complicated to build.
Yeah.
So it's more consultant hours, and this is, of course, also what drives the narrative with some consultancy agencies, that you have a 5 times revenue for that project. So that's of course one, and the other one is you need to have some skill set to do it because it's complicated. So I think it's better fitted for some companies that has like a legacy or internal IT, etc., to actually make use of this.
And also I think one of the cons is like if you don't have, if there are commercial off-the-shelf products that you can use, that works, and maybe some of them even have some integrations that works to other platform, then why should you build it yourself? Then you can actually use it. Yeah. But if you come to the pros, what is that? Well, if you have a complex landscape, maybe you have a lot of different custom applications doing different things, then this could actually be a good way to manage it, because it's not always that easy to get that into an already existing platform. And maybe if what you see that there is this platform, but what is out of the box and what we are doing is actually very far from each other, so it's going to take a lot of effort to get it where we want, then maybe this is a way of saying, okay, well, let's just use the out-of-the-box functionality in the platform for what we want the out-of-the-box functionality, and then the customization, let's put that in a side in a microservice instead of trying to hack the one to looking.
In contrast to what some consultants say, you can also do, it's not binary, you can do a hybrid version where you have some microservices and monolithic systems. You can do
and I think that is usually the way that I've been doing it, that it's a little bit, you have like an eCom or CMS system that might do most of it, and then let's say you have a very complex product configurator that does not work at all, then you have the configurator on the side, maybe to be able to select what SKUs you want, what products you want, but then like maybe the checkout is standard. So you usually, that's how you, if you're gonna use this, you want to figure that one out. And another thing that many people claim is is that it's a less lock-in effect, that then you can, well then on theory you could change parts very easily. You can change the CMS system and you're not sitting in a big bucket with one vendor and they basically call all your applications. So it's a little bit way to having less lock-in. And also you could argue that one microservice can technically build in .NET and the next one in PHP. Now usually most companies has like a strategy for what languages they want to use, but I mean it's a way to also that you can take different pieces and put them together.
And one final warning, this is of course no silver bullet.
As usual.
So if you have issues lying behind business, product, etc., this e-commerce architecture will not resolve your business issues as the old one. So it's not it's no one system to succeed all, but you have.
And then another pro that many people are mentioning is scalability, that then you can scale it also.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Have a nice Thursday.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.